Hello everybody, and welcome to my short little playthrough of Mystery House, the very first graphical game ever made, if what I've read on the internet is correct. And, I'm not really going to talk about the game, like my, Wizard and Princess playthrough. I'm just going to kind of let it run in the background. There's no sound or anything, so if you want to mute my annoying voice and just watch, you can. And if you see me do any typos or mess ups, it's because my cat kept trying to jump into my lap while I was doing this. Anyway, I just want to take this time to talk about Return to Monkey Island. My very first Let's Play on this channel was The Secret of Monkey Island, the very first game. And I love the Monkey Island series to death. Every single one is a masterpiece. Even Tales on Escape, which people are kind of iffy about sometimes. I think they're wonderful games, all of them. And I was super excited when I heard that Ron Gilbert will be coming back to make a new Monkey Island. If any of you watched my Tales of Monkey Island Let's Play, at the very end I remember saying, there's no plans to make a new Monkey Island game. We don't know if it's ever going to happen. And then, however many years later, it finally happened. I was super excited. And I do want to do a Let's Play on it someday, but I don't want to do it too soon because I know everyone's going to be doing it right now. Because it's still so new and popular. Like, it's a few months old at this point, but it's still new. There's also the problem that when I ordered it on my Switch, and I don't have a way to record stuff on my Switch, so I'd have to actually get it on my computer in order to record, and I have to see if it even works on my computer or not, because my computer's an absolute hunk of junk right now that could barely play any games, except for like really old ones. But that's fine. I also have my Steam Deck, which I'm planning to learn how to record on. But yeah, anyway, my thoughts on Return to Monkey Island. I'm not going to do some big review on it. I'm not an expert at that. I'm just going to kind of say my thoughts. Like I said, I do want to do a Let's Play of it. I loved the game. I'll just say that right off. I absolutely loved it. It was pretty much, in terms of almost everything, I'll get to that, but in almost everything, it was exactly what I had hoped for. It had that same charm, it had the same fun puzzles. Like, there were puzzles that were hard, but I never felt really stuck for too long. And it's definitely a love letter to the Monkey Island series, especially 1 and 2, because, like, it's sort of weird, because Return to Monkey Island is more of a sequel to Monkey Island 2 than it is to, Tales of Monkey Island, which was the latest in the series at that time. But at the same time, it does take those other games into account more or less. It's like, you don't really have to have played anything beyond Monkey Island 2 to enjoy this game, but it does directly acknowledge the other games. It does take place after those games, which I thought was pretty interesting. But mostly it's a love letter to Monkey Island 1 and 2. And without really spoiling anything, when you play through it seems to come in two halves. The first half is sort of an ode to Monkey Island 1. It sort of has the same kind of journey. And the second half is the same thing with Monkey Island 2, where it kind of turns into like a Monkey Island 2-ish game. Like I said, it did such a good job with it. I loved the voice acting. I loved that Dominic Armato came back for it. It was just so wonderful. But one gripe, of course, and this is everyone's gripe with it, it wasn't a deal breaker, but I really wish that it had been made with pixel graphics like Monkey Island 1 and 2. Even if they were updated, I wish it had been done with that, because I'm just not a fan of the art style they used. I'm not. There's something about it that bugged me. You do get used to it after a bit, and there is some charming things about it, but in all, the nostalgia factor would have gone through the roof if they'd used older style graphics for this game. I'm sure someone will come along and do a kind of mod, if that's even possible, and I would play the heck out of that. But as it is, I really love this game just so much. They had some other fun things too, during the game, you'll randomly see little cards lying on the ground. You pick them up, the little trivia cards, and they ask you questions about Monkey Island 1, Monkey Island 2, about the current Monkey Island you're playing, about Lucas Art, Lucasfilm, Lucas Games, whatever it was. And it's really interesting because you like fill up this like little trivia book, and if you answer a question right, then it's stamped in there. If you answer it wrong, you lose the card, and you have to go around and find it again. I didn't bother going through all of it to find all of them because it's so random whether or not you find them. And to be honest, I didn't know the answer to all the questions. It was like, what was the time cycle of creating Monkey Island 1? And it was just asking how long it took to make Monkey Island 1, or which studio Monkey Island 2 was made at specifically, like which location. It's like, I don't know these things. I love Monkey Island, but I don't like research every single little thing about them. But it is a fun little addition. I do want to go through sometime to get all the achievements and do all the trivia stuff. And when I played it, of course, just like the first two Monkey Islands, there's an easy mode and a hard mode. You didn't see those, if you watched my playthroughs, you didn't see those because I played the special editions, which just automatically go to the hard mode. But it was a nice little addition because anybody who's not familiar with the games can just do the easy mode and just kind of have fun through it, and then if you want a little harder challenge, you go through hard. Which is what I did to start with. I wanted the harder challenge because that usually is a bit more fun, has a bit more detail to it. There's also something cool where they actually give you a hint book in the game, like the Voodoo Lady. Spoiler alert, she's in there. It's in the trailers. I think it's her. I think she gives you a hint book where if you're really, really, really stuck, you can open that hint book and take a look. And there's no real consequences to it as far as I'm aware. There was one single time I broke down and used it, and I hate myself for it because, like, I'm not going to spoil what this was, but there was a little puzzle where the solution was to bring an item to someone. But it doesn't say directly what that item is. I felt like I knew what it was, but when I went to interact with the item, it's weird because there's like, instead of the sort of scum way of doing it, where it's like you have all these like verbs and actions you can choose and then choose an item. Instead, there's usually two icons to look at an item or interact or pick it up. With this item I had found, there was only an option to look at it. And there was an option to pick it up. Like, you couldn't pick it up with your bare hands. I didn't know that, but because there wasn't even an option, it wasn't like, oh, I can't pick this up because it's blah, blah, blah. Then I would think, oh, I need an item. But because I could just look at it, this is at the beginning of the game, so I didn't really know how everything worked exactly. I was like, oh, then I guess I can't pick this up in any way, shape, or form. I was just stuck. Then finally I broke down and looked, and it said, you need this item. I was like, oh, I do need it. And that kind of made me think, well, what if I just used an item on it, even though it says I can't pick it up? There's no option to pick it up, and lo and behold, I was able to use an item on it. So after that, because I'd figured that part out, then I never got super stuck anymore. There's one time I almost did. I almost broke down, looked at the hint book again. But if you like kind of listen to their dialogue, and if you like have an idea and you try to do the idea and it doesn't quite work, they usually have something they say that hints that you're on the right track, there's just something not quite right. Yeah. And the one thing, of course, that's most controversial, I think, is the ending. On Facebook, I'm always hearing people ask, what were everyone's thoughts on the ending? And I don't really want to give my thoughts on the ending because I don't want to like spoil anything, because even my thoughts would spoil things. Other than the fact that it's definitely one that has split opinions. But there is still room for more Monkey Island. Ron Gilbert has said he doubts that this is the end of the Monkey Island series. And that is very exciting. I will play as many Monkey Island games as he puts out, as many games as he puts out. So yeah, Return to Monkey Island is definitely worth the full $25, full price I paid for it. Want to see much, 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 much more. Hope we see much more. And that's about it. And well, if you've been paying attention to Mystery House, I think we've already killed the murderer and we've got the jewels. Maybe we haven't. I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiling things. So I just realized when we get in the gun there. Oh yeah, while I was in that storage room, I kept trying to like look for a trap door that wasn't there because I was in the wrong place. It's right there. Yeah, I wasn't going to talk too much about this anyway. Anyway, Monkey Island, it was great. I highly recommend it for anybody who loves adventure games. As for what's coming up next for me, I definitely have plans for another adventure game. It might not come until beginning of next year, but it'll be a pretty fun one. It's one I played in my childhood, as most of these are, which I'm pretty much running out of nostalgia games that I played as a child. And recently played another point-and-click adventure game that I really, really want to do a Let's Play of now because it was a lot better than I thought. It's sort of an FMV game with some very, very famous actors and voices behind it. I'll just leave it at that. And I know it's in the basement that's talking about the jewels that I already got. But, yeah, that will be pretty fun. And if anybody has any other recommendations for some fun point-and-click adventure games, let me know. I just finally bought Drascula for like $1 something because of the whole Black Friday sales, and somebody recommended that to me a long time ago. If you're still there, if you still remember who you are, let me know. But I'm gonna want to play that one soon. In the meantime, I'm just gonna kind of playing my own fun games. I've been playing Borderlands 3, GTA 5, and all sorts of fun games. Alright, so that should be it. We have killed the person, we've gotten the jewels, and now we are leaving the house. And that will end the very first graphical adventure game by Ken and Roberta Williams, who will now be releasing Colossal Cave, which should be fun. I can't wait to get that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed yourself if you listened, and hope you enjoyed my commentary if you listened to it, and if not, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.